Dinner turned out to be boiled rice. And while it was cooking, Adam and I had our first real chat about the Carolina 5, whom he'd been radio tracking. The mother, Presepe, and her family had been doing okay. But now he had some bad news for me. A few days ago, he'd lost sight of the youngest female in the group, Letitia.
Yeah, I'd been looking for her for sort of several hours and getting a very strong signal. I knew she was close by, but just couldn't locate her at all. Finally sat down, lit a cigarette. Just as I put the cigarette out, looked down to my left, and there was the skull. And close by was the radio collar as well. And that was pretty much all that was left, apart from her stomach contents from her last meal. It was a pretty upsetting moment, really. I sort of spent most of the day just sort of wandering around the forest on my own for the rest of the day, not really wanting to come back here and have to break the news to everybody.
Well, that's what you dread more than anything else.
I actually exclaimed no extremely loudly. I'm surprised they couldn't hear me down at the camp. Yeah, because I knew immediately as soon as I caught a glimpse of the skull, I knew it was, I recognised it as a rough lemur skull, and it was pretty obvious what had happened.
Adam showed me the bite marks on the skull. It was clear that Letitia had been killed by a fossa.
Grabbed Letitia and... So I don't know whether the animal also got a better grip by gripping around the eyes, or it's possible.
The news about Letitia was obviously upsetting, but at least it seemed that the other 4 were doing well.
Female, how do you say her name? Is it Presepe?
Presepe.
Presepe?
Yeah.
And she's off with Jason?
No, she's with Zubanubi.
Oh, I can't remember. Zubanubi, okay.
Yeah, and it's Janice and Sarf who are...
So Janice and Sarf are the ones who are close?
Yeah.
And Presepe and Zubanubi could be a little bit harder to find.
Yeah, I mean, they could be about 3.5 kilometres from here and some considerable distance to the west of the trail.
Still, it's a nice cool day forecast tomorrow, I heard. The low 50s.
Oh, I wish.
I wish.
At 6 a.m., while it was still cool-ish, Adam led the way into the rainforest, which has become his office for the last 9 months. It's one hell of a way to get to work. I always pictured rainforest as being flat, Adam. Much of it vertical?
Yes, pretty much all of it here is rather like this. That's probably one of the main reasons why it's still here.
Yeah, I see your point. After last night's news of Letitia's death, I was obviously worried about the chances for the rest of the group. But Adam explained that the others are spending more and more time high up in the trees, where they are safer from the fossa. But that means they're becoming very difficult to observe. So most of the research is now done by collecting and sifting through their droppings to find out what they've eaten and how healthy they are. So if we don't actually get to see them, we can at least show you some of their shit. Well, we've come about 1.5 miles into the rainforest, uphill, and Adam's helpers have radioed us saying that our lemurs are about 400 yards in that direction. But as you can see, the forest is so impenetrable, they might as well be in Ethiopia. So we're going to wait and hope that the lemurs will come round a bit closer to the trail, which means that we now can have lunch. As you can see, I've brought my own napkin. After lunch, a cold risotto with rice sauce and rice on the side, the waiting began. As there's not a lot to occupy the mind up here, I decided to run through the 1953 Bristol City team. Cook, Guy, Bailey, Reagan, Peacock, Jack White, Captain Jimmy Rogers, John Attier, Arnold... Well, we've been waiting here for 4 hours, and the lemurs haven't moved at all. So, well, it's a long way to come to Madagascar, so we're going to go looking for them. You just stay there on your sofas and your armchairs, you know. Make yourself another nice cup of tea or a gin and tonic, perhaps. I'll go in here for you. Don't worry about me. I'll go into the death trap. I'll be fine. I'll be all right. Or if I'm not, you'll read about it in the paper, so don't worry. Suddenly, I spotted something. There.
Where?
Do you see, through the fork? It's David Attenborough. Hello, David. How are you doing? What are you up to? Oh, good for you. Says he's got some great footage of some black and white rough lemurs. Let's steal it. Unfortunately, David could run faster than me, so before long, Adam and I were back on the trail again. What's so crazy about this bit?
I'm here to break your fall.
That's very nice, but you're not as plump as I would like. My knee was playing me up again. I don't like this getting old. Don't want to slip off too fast, right?
This is where things do start to get very slippy.
Oh, I was wondering where it would get difficult. You know this?
So just sort of take it really steady.
Well, I was going to do it as fast as I possibly could,
That's
but
the
you
other
think,
that's the other method, actually. Just get down on your backside.
Oh, I see. There are still these nice trees for us to hang on to occasionally. I think I've got a problem here.
Well, you could try coming round the top.